What we are looking at here is what has happened to the education system. That goes for financial education and all others. I'm not a big fan of a lot of the education that's being taught today, but some of the basics need to be told to people. However they get that information doesn't really matter to me, but reading and writing is essential. Your basic reading and writing, I'm talking about basic mathematics here. I don't want, all this silliness of, trigonometry and calculus and all these things. Just, you're being able to go to a store, being able to calculate things on the fly in your head using addition, subtraction, multiplication, division on the fly. Percentages maybe. Interest rates would be nice to be able to, calculate things. I'm talking the basics. Reading, to be able to pick up a book, read it, and not need to, pick up my phone at the same time and start, scrolling through Instagram, scroll. No, we need to actually sit down and read books. Okay, it's so important, not just because of the way that it wires your brain and makes it healthy, but also the fact that people just need to learn some stuff. This is why they're so easy to manipulate. 65% of public school 8th graders are not proficient in reading. 67% not proficient in math. And when you break it down further, it's actually much scarier. I couldn't believe it. I'm going to read this to you, and I'm not believing it myself, but that's what the statistics are showing. So this is, you can see the article for yourself at cnsnews.com. They quote the actual study that was done. Urban districts ranked by percentage of 8th graders proficient in math. Unbelievable. The highest of this list, which is terrible, shows you only 41%. These are obviously probably the worst of the bunch. Look at Detroit. 5%. Basically, if you're living in Detroit, chances are the 8th graders there cannot read, write, do math. That's what I'm going to show you today. And it's scary. That's frightening to me. Truly. We have a generation of individuals growing up now that can't do the basics. That's worrisome. This is for reading. Detroit happens to be 7% in this case here. Looking at this, states ranked by percentage of 8th graders proficient in mathematics. Only 50% at math. Look, I'm at a loss for words because I can't believe it. I'm reading it and I can't believe it. I'm thinking that this is wrong information or I'm reading it incorrectly somehow. Louisiana, 19%. The entire state. States ranked by percentage of 8th graders proficient in reading. Okay? Similar story. I mean, when such a low percentage of people are proficient in reading, just reading, it's truly worrisome. And I just think of all the people. Now, solutions, right? What are we going to do about it? Number one, if you want to know about the education system for real, like you actually care, you're going to read The Deliberate Dumbing Down of America by Charlotte Thompson Iserby. I highly recommend getting the abridged version. The abridged version has all the contents of the original version, except they made it into a smaller size book, and they took all of the documents instead of putting them in the book, which made it significantly larger. They just put them on a website, so you can just go to the website and see the actual documents for yourself. But instead, you just get just the contents of the book. So I like that a lot. It was big enough as it is, and the font is small, but you learn so much. You learn everything you need to know about the education system, the way it's set up. Highly, highly recommend it. It was an incredible book, an incredible learning experience. That's The Deliberate Dumbing Down of America. Okay, that's one of my one of the books that I just came out just so much more knowledgeable. Okay, and then what I intend on doing. Financial education is not taught in schools. My intention here, eventually, as I've shared with you before, is to create a financial education system for people. Now, it's going to take me a while. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to do it at this point. I have a lot of steps to get there, but basically the end goal, however long that takes, is to be able to provide people that's at any age. We're talking literally from when they're children all the way up in through, like, for example, these 8th graders and beyond into adulthood, and have an education system for each of these people. Teaching through perhaps videos, teaching through simple books, trying to get people up to speed. And I'm talking about the basics that people should have learned in school. How to, diversify a portfolio, how to, save your money, and why it's important to save certain money, why it's important to be investing in certain things when you're younger, maybe buy a little bit of this or that when you have $5 or $10 worth or $20 worth. Don't spend it on this, spend it on that. Being able to engage in different businesses that you can do when you're really young, be able to provide yourself an income, maybe for a little spending money, but also for saving, and promise yourself that you will save a certain percentage. And when you're an adult, don't get yourself into this, and this, but you need to do this, and this. I'm talking about the simplified things. I'd be step by step, have these programs available for people, not just available, but somehow available for free. That's my plan, and I'm going to destroy this school system that's in place today, and it's going to be available to everyone globally. That's my goal. I hope you appreciate it. If you do, please give me a thumbs up. Last but not least, if you found this video informative, I know that you will find my books, The Money GPS, and my newer release, Global Economic Collapse, even more informative. I also have the audiobook version of Global Economic Collapse, which you can get on my website, themoneygps.com. I'm always asked that question, do you have an audiobook? Just of my newer book, Global Economic Collapse. If you want more of the charts, more of the graphs, more of the diagrams, that's in the first book, The Money GPS. I get into the history, and I get into how to profit. In my newer book, I get into familiar topics. I also talk about reducing your monthly expenses, becoming self-sufficient, so much more. Okay, so that's all. If you want to check them out, links are in the description of this video. Take care.